Hi there. I'm so glad you're here. And honestly, I hope you're listening to this before something bad happens. But if you're tuning in after a car crash, take a deep breath. You're not alone. Let's talk about what really goes on after a car accident, especially when insurance companies get involved, and how you can protect yourself and your future. So let's start from the beginning. The crash itself. It happens in seconds. One moment you're driving, maybe on your way to work or picking up your kids, and the next, bam, you're hit. Maybe it was a distracted driver, maybe they ran a light, maybe it wasn't even clear whose fault it was. But what is clear is that your life just got turned upside down. Your heart's racing, your hands are shaking, and you're trying to figure out what to do next. Should I call the police? Should I move my car? Should I talk to the other driver? Should I call my insurance? It's a mess, emotionally and mentally. And right in the middle of all that, the insurance companies get involved. Now, here's where most people make their first mistake, thinking the insurance company is there to help. I get it. They sound nice on the phone. They ask how you're doing. They say things like, "We'll take care of you," or "We just need some information to get started." But you have to remember this. Insurance companies are not your friends. Their job is not to take care of you. Their job is to protect their money. Let me say that again. Insurance companies exist to protect their money, not your health, not your future. So what's the first thing they usually do? They'll ask you for a statement. Can you tell us what happened in your own words? And most people say yes because they think they're just telling the truth. But that statement can and will be used against you later. They're trained to pick apart your words. Maybe you said, "I'm okay," when you really meant, "I don't need an ambulance right now." They'll twist that into, "She said she wasn't injured." So tip number 1, don't give a recorded statement without talking to an attorney first. Now let's talk about the quick check. If you've been in a crash, you might get an offer in the first few days, sometimes even within 24 hours. They'll say something like, "We'd like to go ahead and get this resolved. We're offering you $1,500 to cover your inconvenience." It sounds tempting, especially if you're missing work, don't have a car, and just want to move on. But here's the catch. Once you cash that check, your case is closed. That's it. No going back, even if your pain gets worse. Even if your medical bills end up being $10,000. Even if your injury becomes permanent. They're counting on you being vulnerable and overwhelmed. And that's not fair. So tip number 2, don't sign or accept any payment before knowing what your case is really worth. Let's talk about medical treatment. Sometimes people wait too long to get checked out. Maybe they don't feel anything right away. Maybe they think it'll go away with rest. But days later, the pain shows up. The headaches, the stiff neck, the back pain that wasn't there before. Here's the problem. Insurance companies love when you wait. Because the longer you wait, the more they'll say, "Maybe you weren't really hurt. Maybe this wasn't caused by the crash." So tip number 3, always get checked by a doctor, even if you feel okay. It protects your health, and it protects your claim. Now, let's get real about lost wages and car repairs. You've got bills to pay, maybe kids to feed, and suddenly you're without a vehicle or income. The insurance company will drag their feet, offer you a rental for 3 days, or tell you they're reviewing the claim. Meanwhile, you're just stuck. That's why having a legal team like Lopez Law Group matters. They don't just know the law, they know the games insurance companies play, and they won't let you get pushed around. So, what should you do after a car crash? Here's a simple list. 1, call 911 1. And get a police report. Always. 2. Take photos of the scene, your car, your injuries, the other vehicle. 3. Exchange info, but don't admit fault. 4. Get medical attention, even if it's just to document how you feel. 5. Call an attorney before calling the insurance company, and if you're in South Texas, you already know who to call. Attorney Fernando Lopez and his team at Lopez Law Group. They'll treat you like family, guide you through the process, and fight to make sure you get what's fair, not what's fast. Because listen, you only get one shot at doing this right. One shot to protect your health. One shot to protect your finances. One shot to protect your future. So don't let a nice voice on the phone convince you to walk away from what you truly deserve. You're not alone. We're here to help.